you. Alright, welcome back everyone. And I'm not putting on Skyrim. Almost did. But suffice to say, this stream is not meant for Skyrim right now. Or my Skyrim is not meant for the stream. Yeah, that is true. It is basically still just Justin. Poor Justin all alone. Oh, yes. Do we want to resume with Bryce being impressed or nah? I would also completely agree with that too, except that it is possible that I have someone else watching as well. I have 3 concurrents. Impressed. If I could just remember which one that was. Let's see. Status. Okay, not that one. That's the one. Alright. After a brief... Where did we leave off exactly? Right, we were at the hatchery. Reza had broken in. Apparently there was another murdered victim, unfortunately murdered. We realized that this was also the orphanage, so we were worried about a dean. And, test results, blah blah blah. After a brief walk... Now scroll. After a brief walk, we were in Bryce's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but didn't reveal any insightful or new information. So, what do we do now? Go over the timeline again? Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. What do you have in mind? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Come in. Maverick, what are you doing here? Chief, can I talk to you? Alone? We're quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about? Reza. Well, you're looking at the Reza task force, so if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us. I see. I think I know where Reza is. You know where Reza is at this very moment? I have good reason to believe that I have located his hideout. He could still be there, or he might have already moved on. Damn, Maverick, tell me everything. I've been tracking him for a while now. When he was at the portal a few days ago, I nearly got him and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, and where he's been and where his victims have been found, I could triangulate his whereabouts. He has to live somewhere, right? He needs a base to hide the generators and everything he has stolen. Bryce cleared the clutter on a table and smoothed out a map of the town on its surface. It already had a few locations related to the case marked on it. Show it to me. Prior victims are found here and here. Today's was here. She was following him, likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This is the path he took from the portal when I followed him a few days ago. So we have established this as his area of operation. Extrapolate it, and we can narrow it down to this. Now, where could he be hiding in this area? He's certainly not within the village borders, so unless he's decided to live in the wilderness or in a hole in the ground, the only option is here. The abandoned farm. When did you figure all this out? Just a few minutes ago. When I did, I immediately came here. Darn, Maverick, this might be it. Should we send an observation team? As if we had one to spare. Heck, we're going there right now. What about you, Maverick? I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw Reza right now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't. How about you, Cabbage? Isn't this going to be dangerous? Reza probably won't harm you, as you are the only one he could possibly consider an ally. Good point. If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up, or we could act like we intended to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. They're not really going to use me as ransom, right? We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along. I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole situation even worse, it'll be messing up with you. We have the element of surprise if we walk into this space right now, but we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go. Yeah, I guess we won't need Cabbage there for that, though. True enough. Alright, Cabbage, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without telling us you do. Understand? Okay. Alright then, let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. And Maverick, good job. Thanks, Chief. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now, and if anything new had happened, I would be the first to know. Wouldn't the untitled goose be more likely to steal the knife instead? And honk at everyone? I think I saw GDQ was doing that as a speedrun just this year or so. Okay, so I'll do it. Okay. Alright, let's go. We slowly made our way to the front door. I took a deep breath and tried to prepare myself for the February 6th. Yes, we did. Okay. So just to go back here a second, this is actually kind of new dialogue because we have now actually met with Sebastian in a, what's it, informal setting, I suppose? He's talking about the fireworks. Yes, it's a great tradition behind it. What pleases me most is that I'll be on guard duty when it happens this year, so I probably won't be able to see a thing. Why don't you just watch it, regardless? Are you suggesting I abandon my post during the fireworks? And this is basically set up for this ending and every further ending. We won't have to see Sebastian dead anymore. No, you don't have to abandon your post, but if you pick a good spot to watch them for like half an hour or so, no one's going to care. I'm not so sure about that. The guard post is pretty important. I know we're talking about the portal, but you don't need to take this so seriously all the time. Just think about it. The portal is broken right now anyways, and everybody will be busy watching the fireworks. Nothing is going to happen. I suppose you have a point. Just pick a good spot and no one is even going to notice that you're gone. Well, if you say so. Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave this stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest when I get back, alright? Okay, take the exit to the hatchery, take the PDA to the library, visit the witness, or take advantages to the facility. I don't believe there is anything important to what we're doing right now except, I think taking the eggs to the hatchery might be required. Let's see if we can just quick save real quick. Save, okay, thank you. Take the eggs to the hatchery. Yes, perfect. I was on the way to the hatchery when I heard a voice call out to me. Hello there! I turned around to see an unfamiliar face before me. Hey, I'm Kevin. Cabbage, nice to meet you. Could I perhaps interest you in our Midwest institution? Is this some kind of religious thing? No, not at all. It's a college. Sorry, but I already got my degrees. Yeah, I know. It was a joke. Oh, so me going to college is a joke now? I'm not good enough, is that it? Not at all. Even if you want to study there, I don't think you'll be using us long enough to make use of it. Sorry, you'll be with us long enough to make use of it. I think that came out wrong. You're lucky I won't take this the wrong way. Phew. So, you're a recruiter for this college? Oh, this is just my summer job. once the semester starts up again, I'll actually be attending to get my degree in psychology. College. Wonderful times. Is that sarcasm? Maybe. I didn't even know you had colleges here, though. Well, you do now. Why'd you even approach me if you know that I'm not going to the college here? Don't tell me it's just because I'm human. I was actually trying to talk to that old lady who walked by, but once you turned around, there was no going back. That's basically me and Coco Park Justin is. Just for some reason Coco Park shows up and then everybody votes for him. Just, what is wrong with you people? It's a boring track. It's literally just a circle, just about. No going back. Oh, well, thanks for not making things awkward. Hey, I treat everyone nicely until I have reason not to. That's good customer service. Sure. But it's not just the job, you know. That's just me. Alright, so let's Right. Tim. Why don't you come over to my place later? I'd love to hear more about what college is all about in this world. Then you found the right person for the job. Can't promise anything right now, but maybe I'll see you another time. Oh sure, I also have to finish this up here after I'm done. But after that, I'm free. Alright, I'll let you know. I'm here all day today and tomorrow, so it shouldn't be hard to find me. Great, I have to get going now, but I'll be sure to let you know if anything's up. Sure, see ya. So here we are again, exactly where we left off, too. Hey, Cabbage, right? What are you doing here? Oh, I just came by to drop these off. Drop what off? The stolen eggs. I figured the hatchery would want them back. Oh, I was actually going to get those from the police department later. I'm so glad that they got back safely. Emily, stop chewing my leg. It's tasty. Oh, well. Anyways, I was about to go inside, so I'll take those off your hand. Thanks for bringing them here. No problem. Alright, we can rest in our apartment or visit any of the witnesses if you like. There is a very good reason for that. Well, I guess I can't say good reason, but there is a reason for that. Why she does that. I need to actually turn on the other light so I can see my dice from now on. Light switch is just past my monitor, so I can use a back scratcher here. Sendable one. To just reach it. So, what's the choice? Justin, it looks like it is just you in the chat right now. Take advantages to the facility, we can meet with Anna, we can visit the witness, see how Lorem and Ipsum are doing, take the PDAs to the library, see how Remy is doing. Or just forget all that and just rest in our apartment. Well, the dice are saying to take the PDAs to the library, so might as well do that. Doesn't look like Remy's here. Excuse me. Hang on, is that a tie? Okay. Screenshot. Can I help you? Do you know where the audio section is? I'm looking for some sheet music. That would explain the tie. Sorry, I have no idea. I don't even work here. Ah, don't worry about it. The staff all seem to be hiding somewhere. Anyways, have a good day. You too. Maybe come back. Oh, it's you. I don't think this is a good time for you to visit right now, though. Now, if I remember right, the first and only time that we actually came here, at least on YouTube, was when we discovered that Remy had in fact suicided, and that would entirely be our own fault, for that matter. Other than that, I've never actually caught that before. So let's see, we did just skip ahead. Emra said, hey, sorry about everything that happened. I don't really like having sent you back home, but it was just for your safety and everything. Whatever. So, here we are. Oh, it's you. I don't think it's a good time for you to visit right now, though. I just came by to give you this. I was already at the library, but Emma refused to let me drop it off there. I see. Oh, it's one of your PDAs. I was really looking forward to this. Well, here you go. Thanks for coming by. Enjoy. Thanks for all your help. I'll take care of the remaining tasks so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have other things to do than helping the police department. It's no problem. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See you. Alright, now we get a phone call from Bryce, or message for Bryce. From Bryce. Nope, not yet. Yeah, skip ahead. Nothing that can actually be done here. There we go, messages, let's see. Hey Cabbage, wanna meet up and go somewhere? Just the two of us? Ooh, just the two of us. Yes, from Bryce and not from Anna. I just want to get out of my crummy temporary apartment. I'm sure we could think of something fun. Is he thinking what I am thinking? Why, yes, I'm pretty... very probably, yeah. Alright, so we can now, let me just quick save again, just in case. We can listen to the records again. Yep. Okay, enough of that. I've heard enough. So we can meet with Bryce or we can meet with Kevin, whichever one you want. And so we can meet D4. The D4 are always cursed. They have a 75% chance of landing on a 1. So just for the sake of what I'm doing here, we have to meet with Kevin, just to get that out of the way, and also meeting with Bryce because, well, we're talking with Bryce. After that, we will have no problem with talking with anyone else. That being said, oh yeah, there's your reason we're not meeting with... Wait, that one's supposed to be Lauren. That's your reason we're not meeting with Anna. Well, the dice say to meet with Kevin, so let's do that real quick. We should be fine. And that must be him. Hello. Good to see you again. This is where you live, huh? For the time being. It's pretty nice for a small town like this one. Are you not from around here? No, I'm just here for the job until the next semester starts. Basically, I'm trying to drum up interest for the college and see if there's anyone around who would like to apply for it. How's that work out? Well, I haven't actually met that many candidates out there so far. For a town like this one, it's difficult for the young people to go into an apprenticeship to prepare for their future job, rather than go to college. But if there's anyone willing, we want to find them. Even out here? Yeah, there's always a need for more highly educated people in the cities as they expand. Cities? That's the first I hear of cities in this world. I thought this town was where it's at. Then you've really been missing out. This town isn't really all that special when it comes down to it. I've lived in this city for most of my life. Of course, that's also where the college is. I don't think they build one out here anyway. I think as ambassador they showed me around a bit, but apparently that isn't the case. Your visit is a bit of a political issue right now. The bottom line is that it's also for your own protection. Everything surrounding the portal has been a well-kept secret. People know that it exists and that we currently have human visitors, but the exact location is only known to those who live here. If it ever got out, I don't think this town would face the ensuing torrent of tourists trying to catch a glimpse of you. Travel has been restricted as well. There are strict conditions for people who want to come out here. The only reason I was allowed to is because this isn't the first time I'm doing this job. The people here already know me. Heck, I didn't even know this was the town in question until I had arrived and heard everyone talking about you. Well, I'm glad they're taking this matter seriously. They certainly are. I'd like to know more about the cities you talked about, though. Excuse me. Well, I can only speak about the one I live in. What do you want to know? Just give him a chance, Justin. Just give him a chance. Oh, hi, Shadow. I'm glad you joined. We are currently talking with Kevin here. And actually, let me also just... How far can I back up? Okay. Let's, go back to a quick save then. Yeah, here we are. This is just for you, Shadow. You arrived too late to actually hear this, but you get to hear it again. Seems I've got some messages. Let's see. Hey, Cabbage. Want to meet up together and go somewhere? Just the two of us? I just want to get out of my crummy temporary apartment. I'm sure we could think of something fun. Is he thinking what I'm thinking? So let's just crap, I think I forgot to save too. Alright. Meet with Kevin. Okay, I'd like to know more about the cities you talked about, though. Well, I can only speak about the one I live in, but what do you want to know? I only really have this town as a point of reference, so why don't you tell me about what the difference is? Gee, that's only pretty much everything. Facepalm. Out here, living in general seems a lot cheaper than in the city, and there is much more room for everything. There are green spaces, fields, parks, and farms. You don't really see that in the city. People are more laid back, and there is a bigger sense of community as everybody knows everyone, which can be both good and bad. For example, rumors travel fast and survive in areas like this one. In the city, you can just make new friends when that happens, but out here, a few well-placed stories could mean a social death. In the city, it's also much more crowded. buildings pretty much line the streets, and there isn't much room for anything else. With the clubbing scene and opportunities for socializing, there's no shortage of potential friends. There are also many different jobs and education opportunities that you wouldn't find out here. Like what? Creative jobs of all kinds. For example, game designers, writers, artists, that kind of stuff. The same goes for teaching positions in those areas as well. For example, if I wanted to learn how to write a romance novel, I can find a course for that easily. But out here, this would be a lot more difficult. You know what I mean? Yes, absolutely. In a way, it feels like you're always busy. When you live in the city, the streets are usually filled with people trying to get somewhere. Of course, this is also a side effect of the small apartments, as people tend to go out more often and seek entertainment elsewhere. Which do you prefer? In the end, I suppose I prefer the city. That's not to say that I think one is better than the other. Different strokes are for different folks, and all that. You know, out here, people would probably laugh at some of the things I do in my free time, but in the city, you get enough like-minded people to even get conventions going about all kinds of things. What kind of conventions do you go to? FurryCon. I like all kinds of geeky things. Cartoons, comics, that's almost exactly what I said, except I said furries. And all that stuff. I've even written a few fanfics before too, since I can't really draw all that well. Aren't cartoons usually for kids? You're not talking about anime, Cabbage. It's like saying books are usually for kids, cartoons are just a medium. Of course, there are some that are aimed at kids, but there are cartoons for adults as well. Cartoons for adults, I see. Not like that. Facepalm. There's messages here. Not like that. I mean, there are cartoons like that, but that wasn't what I was talking about. In any case, what else falls under geeky interest for you? Let's see. I guess you could say I'm kind of a techie. I do like following news about technology and hearing about all the new developments in the industry. You must be pretty interested in the portal then. Oh right, I didn't even consider that. I could actually go there and check it out if I knew where it was. That is, I could show you. If you did that, you'd be like the coolest human I ever met. I suppose you'd be by default, since you're the only human I've ever met. But you get the idea. Let's just go. I'll be right behind you. There it is, in all its glory. It looks so much cooler than I thought it would. Halt! State your business. I just wanted to show the portal to my friend here. Well, friend, you can look, but don't touch anything. No photos either. Do I look like I have a camera? Well, you could be hiding something in your fur. Are you going to give me a pat down? I don't think so. What's that, though? Flyers for our Midwest institution. I could give you one if you're interested in going back to school. No, thank you. I'm quite happy with my current job, which is protecting the portal from any unsavory individuals. What's up with you, Sebastian? Just doing my job, Cabbage. He could be a spy. Really? There's been a lot of interest in the portal from the cities. They've made us offers, but for now we're not doing anything until we see how your visit turns out. Hello, Seawolves. I'm glad you could join. And I hope you're interested too. There have been a lot of interest from the portals that they've made. Right. In the end, it's just a political power struggle. Small towns like us have to protect our interests. and in the process reinforce the stereotype of country bumpkins being conspiracy nuts. You know, I could arrest you, right? Respect is a two-way street, just saying. Arrest is good, but control is better. It's just a matter of perspective. Well, I think I've seen enough here anyway. Let's head back to the cabbage. Sure. You're not going to leak anything, are you? Of course not. Now that I think about it, I totally could, though. Oh, really? I have some connections and a potential audience. Now you're starting to sound like Sebastian had a point. Not really. I just know a few people from a writing column in our college magazine. It got popular enough that it was even featured in the local newspaper for a while. Interesting. What did you write about? Nothing special, really. It was just a commentary about current events. I see. I guess you're pretty involved in the local community then. Not more than anyone else, I think. What's it like to actually live on a campus? College in general is a pretty unique period of life, I'd say. Something I've noticed is that some people are not prepared for the independence when they have when living on campus. You are given a chaotic schedule where you have nothing to do on some days, whereas on others you are kept busy with classes, homework, and other things that you have to do. With study buddies, roommates, and classmates, it's not really hard to make new friends. You also get to meet a lot of people who share similar interests from taking the same classes or being in the same clubs. And don't forget about the dorms, so all the people are always within reach, which can also be both good and bad. You can be tempted to hang out with friends when you should really be studying. For many people, it becomes the first taste of real freedom and independence. Some just handle it better than others, I suppose. That can be a problem with team projects. For example, there's always someone who ends up never showing up and not doing any part of their work. The work. For me, it's not really a problem since I actually enjoy what I'm doing here. I don't mind the homework, and sometimes I read up on subjects in advance so I don't get left behind. I've even corrected the professor once or twice during a lecture. I think that wouldn't be a good idea with certain kinds of professors. Well, with ours, I was even allowed the privilege of giving a guest lecture from my own class once. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was talking about. Come on, learning should be fun. It certainly is for me. For me, so long as it's not English, and I should be fine. And my college is over that ways somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. I'm kind of trying to look in the general direction, but it's just, plaster drywall buildings and like a forest or something. It's in walking distance, so I don't actually need to live on campus like that. I suppose being able to have that kind of attitude makes it a lot easier. It certainly does. Let's see if it keeps up once you have a few more semesters under your non-existent belt. Don't be so negative. And just for your information, I do have a belt at home. Besides, it's not as if I'm some sort of antisocial hermit who only focuses on his studies. I just know when to say no to my friends. Oh, really? Yes, we usually get together on the weekends and do some cooking together. People who only stand so much, can only stand so much frozen food before they get sick of it. And eating out in the city can add up pretty quickly if you're not careful. I see. We rotate the cook every week, but apparently people are looking forward to when it's my turn. I've gotten a lot of compliments for my homemade mac and cheese. Now you're making me hungry. I bet they all miss it, but they'll get a taste of it again once summer vacation is over in a month or two. And in the meantime, you're just out here handing out flyers? Yep, it's good to help our college, and I can also save up a bit in the process. It's certainly easier than trying to juggle a job and homework at the same time later on if things get tight. What were you studying again? Psychology. I see. Alright, go ahead and analyze me right now. It doesn't really work out like that. I know, you just passed the test. Oh, I know what you're getting at. Maybe I'll steal the test from you, though. Might be worth trying to get out on a few people I know. The most time that I've played CTR since after I was really young and I had it on the PS1 would be the Spyro Grand Prix. I played the Spyro Grand Prix more than I played the Spyro Grand Prix. That's how much I played the Spyro Grand Prix. I guessed. On a more serious note, tell me something about what you're learning. What, anything? I just want to get an idea of the subject, and whether it's comparable to our own understanding of psychology. I see. Well, I could tell you about an old and very simplified model of our psyche that we got taught in introductory classes. Sounds good. Okay, so this model divides our psychic apparatus into three distinct parts called id, ego, and superego. And if I'm saying that right, I don't know psychology myself. It's not something I'm at all taking at the college myself. The id represents our most basic desires and instinctual drives, that is, our psychological needs and wants like hunger and thirst, as well as our desires and impulses. What's the difference? An impulse is more like wanting to lash out in anger. For example, the id seeks out immediate gratification for these urges. It is the conflict with the superego, which represents learned behavior like cultural and moral rules and societal standards. The kind of stuff we learn from our role models like parents, teachers, or guardians. The superego is the part that forms our conscience, whatever, and controls our senses of right and wrong. It seeks to uphold the standards to perfection, which most of the time goes against what the id wants at any given moment. You sound like you had a rote learn a lot of this. If those internalized rules are broken, this misbehavior is punished by the superego with feelings of guilt and shame. This way, we are compelled to behave in accordance with the rules, even if the id tempts us to do otherwise. Yes, perpetual loading image. In between the conflicting parts of us, there is the ego who is trying to mediate. It represents our rational mind that seeks to please its drives in a way that doesn't harm us or goes against the superego's goal. However, it also serves another master, the external world. The ego includes all of our decision making and how we respond to the external stimuli. Ultimately, it is the one calling the shots while trying to balance the needs of the id, the superego, and the external world. And there you have it, an updated, simplified model of our psyche. It still serves as a good introduction, though. Thank you. Actually, I think I may have heard something like this before. Why did you go with psychology in particular? I'm just interested in how people work, I suppose. It's also an incredibly diverse subject, and so are the potential jobs. Just being able to understand people is such a huge factor in many fields, and the skills you learn come in handy in all areas of life, really. When people hear about psychology, most usually think of psychologists or psychotherapists, but they can also be counselors for communities and organizations, researchers, or teachers. You also often see them teaming up with other professionals to influence every part of society. Just think about hospitals, courtrooms, prisons, even schools and universities. They can also become coaches for high-performance jobs where they work with CEOs, athletes, and performers of all kinds. Every situation and every business that works with people can profit from the presence of someone who has studied psychology. That's why you'll also find this kind of knowledge to be incredibly helpful, even when you are a manager or in sales, because the job requires empathy and understanding of your client's needs. Understanding people is just something that comes in handy pretty much wherever you go, and that's what psychology is all about. Even in video games. Psychology is a factor. Horror games are an obvious example. But also with tutorials or UI design on how people interact with your game. Psychology and player expectations are always going to be a factor. I think Discord may have just gotten an update or something. I saw something, but I didn't see what it was doing. I think I get the idea. Out here, I think a lot could still be done to improve the image of the field, you know? What do you mean? There's a bit of a stigma to admitting that you need help, especially when you're doing fine physically. For them, it's a sign of weakness, so in order to preserve their image, they hide everything away. But locking away those feelings doesn't solve the problem. If anything, it only makes it worse. Is that something you'd like to work with? Me? Honestly, I don't know if I could tackle a big issue like that. It's good for me that psychology is such a diverse field because I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it yet, or what particular job I'd like to have after I'm done with my studies. I see. I think you still have plenty of time to figure that out. Yep. Before I came here for my summer job, I was interning at a psychotherapist's office for a month. I got to hear more about some very interesting and also tragic cases. I thought I wanted to help people with issues like that, but sometimes it's pretty hard not to be affected too much by those stories. So I'm not sure if that's the right job for me. But you already like working with people, right? I don't know. Maybe interning there was a little too close to the sun for me. If you didn't, why would you be the one to hand out flyers? It's just like you mentioned earlier. Psychology comes in handy with sales and similar jobs, where you have to interact with people. Handing out flyers is pretty similar to that, don't you think? I guess. You seem to be doing well enough for that. We're helping bring the college and people together, and in this way, you're helping both. It's also been a lot of fun, too. After all, I get to meet you and even get a glimpse of the portal. Who knows? Maybe one of those people you handed a flyer will one day turn out to be famous for their work. Now, I think that's a little too idealistic, but I get your point. It doesn't always have to be about the big problems. Little problems need solving, too. Like what you're eating on the weekend. Ha ha ha, yes. What about you, though? What do you mean? Well, I don't want to pry, but we've been talking all this time, and you know a lot more about me than I do about you. Maybe you can't say anything because where you grew up or you studied because it's top secret or whatever, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious. I don't like talking about myself all that much, but I think there are some things that are better left unsaid. I see. But if you're curious, I guess it's only fair I share a few things as well. You know, it's been fun talking about college. I already got my degrees a while ago. It was interesting to go hunting for jobs with my usual combination of degrees. But I thought that would pry open a few doors. But before I got anywhere, our world underwent a few changes that made a lot of jobs obsolete. It's been a rough time since then. Turns out those degrees came in handy after all, because in the end, they enabled me to come here. If I considered all the good and bad that's happened here since my arrival, it's been a vacation compared to home, and it looks like a vacation might come to an end soon. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I can only hope my visit here will have started something that will need a change for our world, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I shouldn't be such a downer though, sorry for bringing it up, but maybe that explains why I don't like talking about it. What's your professional opinion on this? Well, in my professional opinion, as a flyer distributor, I'd recommend a generous application of hugs. But that's just me. You look like you could need them. Alright, people who are actually in the chat right now, go for the hug or no? Excuse me. Hug? Okay, I think there is still one other person in the chat lurking somewhere. And I don't know if that's Shadow or Seeds. Yeah, that's true. Not seeing anyone respond. I'm going to assume that Shadow is away. Imagine he's actually the one who's otherwise in the chat, just AFK for whatever reason. So, go for it. He took a step forward, and I soon found myself being enveloped in a furry dragon's embrace. With him pulling me close, it felt like a giant furry blanket was all around me, and the hairs tickled my exposed skin. After a few seconds, we parted, and he took a step back again. I hope things can be better for you in the future. I don't think I can do anything to help with that, though. You know, I prefer the little problems. It's getting dark. You should probably head out and look for a cave, or else I'll have to sleep in the streets. Oh, Mark is apparently streaming Code Vein, that's what it was. What are you talking about? Well, it seems like all the hostels are already full. Despite the vetting process for visitors, enough people got in to take all available short-term lodging spots in this town. Oh really? Yep, despite only a few people knowing your location, or that the portal journalists and tourists are flocking out to the towns, hoping to catch a glimpse, or at least find a clue of your whereabouts. That only leaves me with the option of finding or renting a cave for the night, or sleeping in the streets. Not that I'd mind sleeping in a cave, but for someone like me, it's usually something for an adventurous weekend rather than a way of life, and rocks don't exactly make for the best bedding. Well, you can sleep here. Really? Yeah, there's plenty of room here, and it's kind of my fault that you couldn't find another place anyway. I guess it means you don't share the officer's suspicions about me being a spy then. Not really. You know, I could totally take this room apart while you're sleeping. You're not helping your case there. Besides, you won't really find anything special here. Hey, I'd keep an eye on that copy of Draconic Desires you've got on the shelf there. I might be tempted to snatch it when you're not looking. Like I'd mind. If you need something for bedtime reading, feel free to help yourself. Oh, I will. The student. You met Kevin and learned a lot about the city and college life. Congratulations. Another free day, yay me. Okay, let's meet with Bryce. That must be him. Hey, Cabbage. Hey, Bryce. You know, you said you wanted to get out of the small apartment of yours, but I'm not sure if mine is much different. Well, I figured yours couldn't be any worse than mine. Now that I'm seeing it from the inside, I have to say the council didn't do a bad job with it at all. Didn't do a bad job with it at all. I assume it's appropriate for someone of my status. Whereas the chief of police has to make do with whatever he can get. You said it was only temporary. It is, but I'm really getting sick of it, to be honest. I can imagine. Anyways, what's the plan? Plan? We gotta do something, right? If you want some entertainment, I could offer you a bookshelf full of it. Here, Sheridan and the Scepter of Sovereignty should be enough to last you a while. No thanks. I have enough fiber in my diet already. I suppose you're not a fan of reading, then. Why would I visit you just to read some crummy book? Besides, I do read from time to time. What do you read? Signs, menus, magazines? I don't think that counts. Let me take a look around your apartment, then. feel free, but I'm not sure if there's anything special about it. I watched with amusement as Bryce headed for the kitchen. So, what you're really looking for? Guess what? I found something. He showed me one of the cheap bottles of wine that had been in the cupboard since I arrived. Why don't you raid the fridge while you're at it? No thanks, this'll do for now. Oh, I get it. You want to play spin the bottle. Sure, we just gotta empty it out first. I assume you don't mean emptying it into the sink. Of course not, that'd be a terrible waste. A terrible waste of the second cheapest wine from the store. I don't know how you humans are with that stuff, like that, but here we don't throw away perfectly good things. I'm not sure this wine would qualify as perfectly good. Hey, at least it's not an absolute bottom of the barrel. Now, are you going to help me with this or not? Alright, basically, Justin, I'm assuming, are we going to help him if we have to? No thanks, it's all his, or absolutely, we want this. In fact, I think Shadow is actually helping us with, the first date with Bryce, for that matter, in drinking a lot. Intent on winning the drinking contest, specifically. I don't remember if Shadow was here for the second or third game, but for that matter, the absolute randomness of the dice say something. Okay, so because people are apparently not chatting in the chat, the dice say, no thanks, it's all yours. If you say so, you aren't planning on drinking it all at once, right? That's nothing for me. This bottle would be about 2 beers, I think? Maybe even less than that. I opened the kitchen cabinet to find an appropriate vessel for Bryce, but when I turned to ask him about it, he had already opened the bottle and was suckling on it like a baby. I suppose that means I won't have to do any dishes. How does it taste? Like wine, I guess. Cheap wine. Besides, I thought you were more of a beer person. Hey, I take what I can get. Just a few minutes later, the bottle had been emptied completely. I'm not sure if drinking like a dragon is a phrase, but if it isn't, it should be. Hey, not everyone can drink like me. See. And now we can finally play Spin the Bottle. Don't we need more people for that? Darn, you're right. Now we drank all this for nothing. Somehow I think the whole Spin the Ball thing was just an excuse so you could drink the wine. What? I would never do such a thing. Of course not. Well, You could still play with just the two of us. There is blush number 5. At that point, we wouldn't even need the bottle anymore. Come on, where's your sense of funness? Is that even a word? Here to relax. You should lighten up a bit. It's just hard to lighten up given everything else that's happening here. If anything, it's worse now than it's ever been. Rizzo's actions are threatening our agreement and with the survival of everyone I know back home. But what really takes the cake is that he may have it out for me because I'm helping all of you. You want to have this conversation right now? Alright, let's have it. Just let it all out. Yeah, why don't we talk about Maverick? He may have it out for me because he thinks I'm working with Reza. And me? I'm just here, right in the middle of this whole mess, just trying to make the best of it. You know, you're only involved in the investigation because we needed your help, right? I know, and I'm doing what I can. That doesn't mean it makes my situation any easier. You think I don't know that? Me, the one responsible for every action our police is taking in this matter? If you want to go ahead and blame someone, just blame me. I can take it. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying this whole situation is something I'm not very comfortable with. Yeah, I did have a feeling you were busy playing CTR, Justin. Still poking at you, staring at you. I'm comfortable with whose responsibility is that now? Whoever you look at, it's me. However you look at it, sorry. I was the one who didn't listen to Maverick back when he had suspicions about Reza. If we had acted then, this whole thing might not have spiraled out of control like it did. And despite what you might think about it, he was the only one who found Reza's hideout, even after I forced him into sick leave. We were practically at Reza's front door and he still got away somehow. If I had done something differently, we might have caught him. Let this be my official apology to you. I apologize for anything I might have done to wrong you. I'm sorry for putting you through all of this and having to involve you in our work, while trying to fix this whole mess, because in the end, this is all my responsibility. You don't need to apologize for anything. He hurled the empty bottle against the wall on the other side of the room, where it shattered into pieces. And screenshot time. And what do you want me to do, huh? He does not look happy. I don't know. You think this is easy for me, seeing so many people die on my watch? Do you think I don't keep asking myself the same questions? What I could have done differently? And if that's what would have made a difference? You'd think as chief of police I'd be used to it by now, but I'm not. How could someone ever get used to this? It's my duty, you know, but I can't save them all. Never could. You know what happened out on our patrol today? We found a dead child and her mother in their home in the outskirts of town. And I know about that child, by the way. The mother died from some sort of illness, and after that the daughter never left her side again, as if she had just given up on life. You try and think about how you might explain something like that to the relatives. But I guess in this case we got lucky because the father was one of Reza's earlier victims. You've been to more than enough crime scenes by now. How have you remained so calm? Do all of you, do all those who have died not matter to you? I'm sorry for making you look at a corpse on your very first day here, but you know I had to. Your help here has been invaluable. It's not like I could ask anyone else. It's the same for me, really. Sure, they could ask someone else to be chief, but if I'm the one who's best suited for the job, who am I to reject that? Otherwise, I'd have to blame myself for every mistake the other chief made. Is that why you drink? Oh look, someone else is playing Snare. Special edition. It might come as a surprise, but actually the alcohol police chief used to be a huge stereotype in our world. Really? You wouldn't believe it. Actually, I do. The research about alcoholism in the police force is out there, but the general populace doesn't know about it all. It's just the internal documents. Why don't people know? They don't want to know about unhappy things like that. Besides, they trust their chief. If they knew about it, maybe they'd start to have their doubts. Yeah, Angry Bryce is Angry Bryce. It's boy, I would be shaking and terrified if I saw that after he just threw the bottle and everything. I thought it was common knowledge that you visit the bar fairly often enough that you're friends with the bartender. I don't know. Maybe they don't realize how it affects me. They see someone who can drink lots and it does it for fun. They don't realize what it means. What other stereotypes about the police are there in your world? That is the biggest one. I see. Well, alcoholism and suicide both are huge problems in law enforcement. Suicide? Yeah, if you have to deal with things we do on a daily basis, it can affect you in pretty bad ways. Everyone has their breaking points. Why is that even showing up in OBS? I don't even know if that's even remotely the same Pokemon. We all just cope in our own way, different ways. Some do it better than others. That's why I'm worried about Maverick right now, and why I wish you'd known him as long as I have. Do you think he's at his breaking point? He's taking the whole Reza situation very personally. I'm just worried about him, you know? Just like I'm worried about everything else until we can sort out this whole mess. It's personal for me, too. No matter what you may think about Maverick or what he may think of you, we still found Reza's hideout, which led us to the generators. I guess you both helped us out a lot with the investigation. My point with all this is this. We're all a very tight-knit group at the police station. Me, Sebastian, Maverick, Naomi. The bond we form on this job is just how we look out for each other. I can tell you there are things, there's nothing else quite like it. What do you think? How many more have to die to stop Reza? If anything, he's more dangerous now than he's ever been before. You know how much depends on how this all turns out. Whatever happens, I'm glad to have known you. Remember when I told you about the wooden models I'm making? I never told anyone else about that. As much as I like everyone at the department, it's just not something I talk about with them. You saw us at the barbecue. I'd never hear the end of it. Sorry about the bottle, by the way. I cleaned it up, but don't worry about it. It was empty anyway. Yeah, that's the cabbage I like. Oh, you won't believe what happened with Emma at work. What did? Well, I did what you told me and played along with her. She asked me for a massage again, a while ago, and he gave her a massage? Honestly, I have no idea what I did. I don't know how to give a massage, so I just pressed and rubbed her here and there. What did she do? Well, she seemed to like it a lot. There was a lot of grunting and moaning. Plus, she gave me a lot of compliments. I guess there was a lot of tension she needed to get rid of. She should visit the massage parlor then. They have a lot of people who are way more qualified than I am. Do they? Yeah, usually it's those who have better hands than I do. But then, she doesn't really want the massage anyway. She just wants me. What are you going to do next? I don't know. After I gave her the massage, she told me to go home and take the rest of the day off. The next day, she acted like nothing happened. Did you deny that it happened? No, I didn't even bring it up. We just went on with our work as usual. Strange. I get the feeling she might ask me to do it again soon. What will you do then? I'll probably just do it again. If I can get the day off, I can at least go back to the department and work on the case a bit instead of doing nothing in her office all day. Good point. Makes for an interesting story, that's for sure. True. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. If I told you that I'm a time traveler from the future, what would you say? Time travel? Isn't that something that happens in bad science fiction novels? Why would only bad science fiction novels in particular? Don't you think there could be a good one? Let's just say all science fiction novels, because they're all bad. Huge generalization, that word aside, what if we were in a science fiction story and time travelers are real? I'd want some proof of it first. That's not something you come across every day, after all. But if I confided it to you as a friend, you'd still have to show me some proof, or else I'd call you out on a joke. But if I was serious, well, it's pretty far out. That's the kind of thing someone would make up to scam people for their money or something like that. Alright, let's forget about time travelers. What if I told you there's another human here besides Reza and me? This is getting kinda weird, Cabbage. Just entertain me for this question. Well, unless you had some sort of proof, I'd call you crazy. Oh look, Angel is playing The Elder Scrolls Skyrim and SKSE at the same time. Thanks to Mod Organizer, I have 2 profiles for SKSE. As a member of law enforcement, aren't you supposed to follow up on every report? Yes, but that doesn't mean we have to believe everything. If there's no proof, we'll look for proof, and if we don't find some, well, without any proof or leads to follow, there's nothing we can do anyway. I see. By the way, when you and Sebastian went to the farmhouse to go after Reza, you just left me alone with Maverick in the same room. I did? Yeah, I was worried there for a few seconds. Don't you worry about him. You mentioned that you had a talk with him about a week ago, and that didn't end badly for you either. It might be scary, but I don't think you need to be afraid of him. Wow, that's a lot of Wumpa coins. Let's see, there is the weekend bonus today. Should be Wumpa time. How did you get that much though? Oh, was that just from a random online race? Just simply a race? That's impressive. If there was actually anything that I wanted on the CTR pit stop right now, I would actually be doing that at least a little bit. But I already have the Winter Spiral Guardian skin, so it's just 4 races and I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't think you need to be afraid of him. He's got a very strong sense of justice, so he wouldn't do anything to you without a good reason. The question is, whether you or I would find those reasons good too. Seriously, don't worry about him. Don't base your opinion of him solely on that incident at the portal. Do you really think he was wrong to suspect Reza when Reza went on to do the things he's done? When we talked with Emra, she pointed out the incident could have caused this whole mess. No matter his reasons, do you really think you want to defend Reza's actions like that? I don't know. Oh wow, triple 1 point. Along with the week, if there was a weekend bonus too, that would be even better. This sucks for everyone involved. Let's just focus on getting things done when on the job, and let's not consume us elsewhere. Maybe you're right. What's that outside? Fireworks? Yeah, it must be the summer festival. Apparently Angel can't decide if he wants to play SKSE or Scarum Special Edition. That would be amazing, Justin. I would be all for Angels with Scaly Wings and CG. I can just imagine a little Bryce just driving around on a cart. You wanted to get out of your apartment, and rather than go to the festival you came here. The festival isn't really anything special for me anymore. Seen one, seen them all. Besides, it's usually more of a thing for families, really. As if for Francie. I see. Those the fireworks people keep talking about? No, they have the fireworks show for every evening. Nobody really even cares about the first couple of days. It's only the last day when they bring out the big ones. I usually watch those. Oh, so if the big explosions, then you care? Well, yeah, it's a big tradition here. Maybe even an ideological one, you know? Everyone in this whole town unites under the stars watching the beautiful fireworks. It's a thing. Why just Reza? Do you think Reza, Justin? $15K. 15,000? Are you sure you mean 15,000 and not 1,500? Because I don't think I've ever gotten more than 1,000 points in a single kind of thing. People have been telling me about it for the last few days. I just have to see them. You know, you kinda owe it to us as an ambassador to take part in a cultural event like that. I'm going to go anyway, so you don't need to convince me. Wanna come with me? I know all the good viewing spots. Most of the popular ones are usually super crowded, and we probably want to avoid those. I can't really promise anything right now, but I'll keep it in mind. Well, you've got my number, so let me know as soon as you can. Sure thing. You know, those fireworks are also off in a couple of minutes. Not surprised. You can set the mood for a romantic evening. Well, they're going on outside right now. Are you saying you want to go inside and watch? There's blush number 6. $15,000? If you are actually being serious, I am actually kind of jealous about that. That would be nice to actually have from one race. No, I'm saying we could take this conversation elsewhere, namely the bedroom. The bedroom here is nothing special, I can assure you of that. Well, it's better than the one I have right now. You know, when you slept over last time and we shared the couch, I took it as a sign. Did that mean anything to you? Or was that just the two friends sharing a couch that was clearly too small for two people who just wanted to stay friends? Alright, Justin, I'm gonna have to ask you right now. Please don't be in a race. Did being on the couch and impressing him, that didn't mean anything. Didn't mean what he thought it meant. Didn't mean exactly what he thought it meant. Or it didn't mean anything, but we can still make this a romantic evening. Salty that I have the entire championship. Yeah, I was for a solid week before the Spyro Grand Prix ended. I was just waiting in the pit stop, waiting for that final gem paint job. Turns out I already had it. I don't even ever use the gem paint jobs. I usually have the I think I'm using the Indigo Purple now because I had the top 5% Grand Prix for Spyro. So I also have the championship card too. That's also pretty sweet. With the Spyro Deco. So Justin, which one is your choice? And I am going to be waiting for you at least, because I know you are here right now. If you want a warning or something, space pirates and those to it. If you're really worried about this, I'll give you a hint. There you go, Justin. Spoiling it while not spoiling it for anyone else. You can't type, I assume that means you're just going to go with the one that I suggested for you, so yeah, that's exactly what we thought it meant. So that would be number 7. Oh, and it's gonna get better in just a minute too. So that being said, I'll make another save, an entire new save here, and just go screenshots later. Why don't we make this a little more romantic then? Share a glass of wine and see where the evening takes us. I should have another bottle in the kitchen. I'll go fetch it. Sure thing. I went to the kitchen to fetch the bottle of wine and 2 appropriate vessels, wondering how Bryce would manage a wine glass. And this is going to be just so great. When I returned from the kitchen, however, I was met with an unexpected sight. Yeah. Take that. Scream, reject, or accept. I don't think I ever actually did the screen here. So I'm just gonna make oh, I did a quick save. Okay. Let's make another quick save since I messed that up. I just want to see the screen real quick. Checked at the display before me, I let out an involuntary scream. Immediately as Bryce sprang to his feet, a somewhat embarrassed look on his face. Okay, definitely not that one. That is if you want to keep impressed. And I'm pretty sure Justin should know which one to pick right now. I'm pretty sure Justin should know which one to pick. Yes. This is not for anyone under 13. Oh my. Oh wow, I just feel like that should be a George Takei moment. Oh my. Bryce sprang to his feet with a somewhat embarrassed look on his face. What is it? Oh, that was fine. Don't stop. Question number 7. Not something you've seen here before, huh? Not like that. And then, especially with my kind, they're, well, I think you can see what I mean. Mm-hmm. You just want to stand there and keep staring? No. So was this question number 10 now, I think? Then why don't you come a little closer? Alright. And there ends the evening. Okay, we can finish up the run with Bryce now. Which is kind of perfect too, I think. Because we will have to go focus on someone else after this. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, duty, that's right. Okay. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world again. Today's the day of the big fireworks. Who shall I bring? Bryce. That must be him. I hope you're ready to see the fireworks, because I brought everything we need. But let me also just check the status, make sure he's impressed. Yes, he is. And, apparently Adin's gone too. In front of him, there was a woven basket that was closed up at the top. It reminded me of a typical picnic basket. Yes, go alone. We will never have to go alone again. We've already done the neutral and the true evil ending. Every other ending is going to be with one of the 5 characters. There will be 10 of those. And then there's also basically another secret ending, if you will. Yeah, sorry, my cat's just stretching over there. I'm just watching her. Alright, so what did he say? Basket. What did he say? I don't think he said that. Must be him. Oh, okay, I hope you're ready for the fireworks because I brought everything we need. Basket. What are you talking about? Snacks and other things. We'll see. Let's go then. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Where is everyone? I thought the whole population was watching the fireworks. Well, there are more public spaces, but someone like you would get pushed around by large crowds. Besides, I think you'll appreciate the solitude. If you say so. The fireworks should start any minute now. If you're hungry, you can grab something from the fun basket. Fun basket? That's what I call it. Everybody's gone. I didn't know snacks were that much fun for you. They certainly can be. Besides, there are other things inside as well. Oh, I think it's starting. We waited quietly as the stillness of the night enveloped us. Soon I heard the sound of a first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed. Their thunderous noise echoed throughout the land. Lesson number 11. Remember what happened last time there were fireworks? Is that what the fun basket is for? Actually, no, not unless you feel adventurous. We're already outside, that's pretty adventurous, I'd say. Suit yourself. Bryce opened the basket, feeling around in it with one of his claws. Meanwhile, my gaze wandered to the illuminated night sky. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public of an event this was and how everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Reza to make his move. There were only 2 other rounds before that. One was intentionally going to be the neutral ending anyways. I'm actually just surprised that you guys actually picked and impressed Anna so often. And then the second time was intentionally going to be the evil ending, for the purposes of getting the evil ending. Which also wouldn't be as evil if you literally did anything else possible, nice to anyone else. There is an end, mind you. There is an end, eventually. I was going to move on this village, basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever have. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. Bryce, we need to go, now. What? You want to take us somewhere else? I know where Reza is. What are you talking about? Are you sure? I bet my life on it. And we have no time to lose, let's go. We arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. While I checked out the portal itself, Bryce looked around the area. I was glad to see it was still turned on. Had it been used recently, it would either still be running or in the process of recharging. Reza was still here, somewhere. Just look at this. What is it? Eggs. A suitcase full of them. So he broke into the hatchery again. Looks like it. He hasn't used the portal yet, though. How pity. Isn't it broken? Not anymore. Looks like someone repaired it. Then he must be close. Where is he? What's so important that he won't leave without it? The underground building. The administrator had told me about the prowess of the generators within it. Probably hadn't been hard for the rest to guess the same, or try stealing it from a place. It would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. That must be it. So, what do we do now? We could wait for him here, but I think I've got an even better plan. What is it? Let's just do it like last time. You go in first and I'll stay behind, and out of sight. If you meet him, you can confront him and maybe talk him down. But if he tries to flee, you'll still have to get through me first. Alright, let's go. Bryce led me to the dig site where they had unearthed the building's entry. Once we got nearer, he stayed behind and motioned for me to go forward. He slowly followed me, trying to stay in cover as I entered the building. Inside, I was met with a long, illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Yes, because we had initially talked with Sebastian in the first chapter, from now on, and also talked with him in the police department about just finding a nice quiet spot, from now on, he's going to be watching the fireworks at this moment. So we will no longer actually see him as a freshly killed corpse right in front of the portal. Inside, I was met with a long, illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Apparently I keep doing that when I play with OBS. Sorry about that. I should even actually see if I can. Okay, so it isn't hot yet, just in a bad spot hitting spacebar. No, what are you talking about? I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions. So, I'm assuming that I did kind of mess up my statement about Sebastian, since we have talked to them in the first chapter and talked to them in the police department about just finding a nice quiet spot. From now on, he will never again be killed. He's going to always be taking that scenic spawn. We will automatically be telling him to go take that scenic spawn, and we don't have to worry about him ever again. Otherwise, he will, because if he weren't taking that scenic spot, he would be getting killed. We would just discover, especially, slaying a corpse. You want to talk now? Sure. Okay, so let's just skip a lot of the dialogue, because it is a little bit long, and it always gets repetitive after you're actually going through the exact same thing, basically. 12 runs more. Listening to you is fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't stop me now, anyway. Maybe I can. Suddenly, Bryce was standing next to me. Now you're showing your true colors, Cabbage. No, Reza, you did. I was willing to talk this out. Alright, game's over. He pulled out his gun, not sure which of us he should be aiming at. The 6 bullets I have in here should be more than enough for you two. I wouldn't be so sure of that. Do you think you can really do that, Reza? Do you think that this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks. What do you do during this time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity. Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. Anime fights. No, they belong to me. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking towards him. Who the heck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free, you can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. My first instinct was to run away, but as Bryce started charging, so did I. As Reza aimed at Bryce, it took 4 shots before he stumbled and fell. Then, Reza aimed at me. I quickly dove behind a box with the generator for cover, just as Reza pulled the trigger multiple times. Only a single shot came out and launched itself on the box. But I was seemingly unharmed while this began to emanate from my cover. Run, Cabbage! It's going to explode! And there went Reza. Immediately, Reza and I ran towards the exit. Gaining speed, he pushed me and I fell to the ground as he ran outside. As I got up again, I saw his Bryce still lying in the same spot. What about you? I can't move. Just go. It'll be any second now. As I ran as fast as I could, as I was just about to reach the outside, I looked back over my shoulder just in time to see Bryce throwing himself on the box before it exploded. There was a rain of small debris as I heard the walls of the building shaking in their foundation. As I made my way to the portal, I saw Reza fumbling with his gun as Maverick pounced on him. He bit into Reza's neck and strained for a second before ripping a large chunk out of it. Reza wasn't moving when Maverick walked off and came towards me. Where is Bryce? He was there inside, threw himself on the generator before it exploded. I'm just kidding. Nice bloody screenshot. His face contorted into an expression of pain and anger I hadn't seen before. I greatly admired him, you know. I knew I couldn't trust you when you came here. His blood is on your hands because he got involved in your matters, your pointless struggles. You never were on our side. It was your fight you brought here. That he, all of us, got involved in our world, your battlefield, our people, casualties. And you still pretend you were just trying to help us? It was Bryce himself who asked me for help. He wouldn't have wanted to. Don't dare tell me what he would have wanted to. He was the only reason you are still breathing. Actually, let me just grab an angry screenshot. The portal is over there. I'm giving you this one chance to leave. If you refuse, I will kill you. Alright. He accompanied me to the portal, never leaving my side. When we arrived, I remembered there was something they needed to know before I left. Wait, the Comet, you need to listen. Suddenly, one of his claws wrapped around my neck and tightened its grip until it was cutting off my airways. I said you had one chance. One more word, human, and you're dead. Do you hear me? He let me go and shoved me towards the portal's controls as I tried to figure out its interface. Only one set of coordinates presented themselves to me, which I confirmed. Wordlessly, I took my place in the middle of the portal. And I will also just note that this is Bryce's bad end, and we did actually also skip over the trigger that would put this into the good end, intentionally, for this scene, which would have been a lot better, mind you. Maverick's gaze never left me as the portal did its startup routine, and I thought about what would happen now. I was going to be the one who would tell humanity what happened, that Reza was dead and I escaped with nothing but my own life. I was sure the welcome I was to receive would not be one of a warm one. This mission had been a last-ditch effort on humanity's part to save our own slowly dying city. For all my efforts, not only had I gained nothing, but I also lost all the PDAs I had given to the dragons. Considering our city's failure, I could only guess that whatever other cities remained had limited time as well. At this rate, humanity was doomed. On the other hand, all those that knew about the danger of the comet and the dragon's world was either gone or dead. Maverick would no doubt tell his own side of the story of how he stopped both Reza and I, who he held accountable for the deaths that had occurred. Maybe he would be hailed as a hero for having stopped Reza, only to be proven wrong when a few weeks later the comet would strike. Alright, so producer, writer, designer, M.B. Saunders there. If I remember right, he did this outside of his own native language, some 15, maybe it was 650,000 words, I think it was actually. All of which in English, I mean, this game is in English here, and it was all outside of his native language. Wait, Blush on the Administrator? Oh, it must have been in the credits, I missed that. It's kind of interesting that they showed the picture of the blown out farmhouse there, when they could have done this technique without Bryce having not died. I see a chromatic scales over here that should make Justin kind of I don't know, that should excite him or something. Welcome back. If you haven't realized it yet, this is the day of your arrival in this world. Who are you? I can't remember anything. It's fine if you don't. Actually, this may be better for both of us. I don't even know if we've met before, or if this is just the effects of the teleportation. Either way, it doesn't matter. Come on, Remy will pick you up soon, and there's something else we need to take care of first. And I know what that is. I know exactly what he's doing. You've seen what lies behind the mask. Quite revealing, isn't it? You've seen Bryce's bad ending. Oh yeah, also there's Bryce now. No, this wasn't a Phoenix Down. That was just his master plan. His hard at work master plan. So we now also have Kevin here as a screenshot, and I'll be taking that later in just a minute. So we now also have Kevin over here at the main menu, and we have the silhouette of Bryce himself also on the main menu in front of Katsuharu's ice cream wagon. So, I'm not going to make another save here. Continue drinking cabbage. Trauma, Chapter 1. I guess we have to go through this first. Basic, then. Maybe I will save here as soon as I can. Yes, there we go. Okay. So the question for next stream is, who do we want to go after next? Who do we want to get to know next? That is, going to exclude Bryce. Yes, I can't remember if that was from the neutral or the bad ending. I'm really not sure which one. But we are going to go after basically Remy and Lorem or a Dean next. And the structure we're going to be doing is whoever it is, say Lorem. We are also going to meet with Bryce on the side, just until chapter 3, that's the purpose. Because there is a single unique line of dialogue that, hey, Cabbage has been meeting with Lorem a fair bit. Oh, Lorem, oh yeah, that shrimp, basically, something like that. Well, you're going to be seeing Maverick there a lot. You'll basically always see Maverick there, except for, I think, the neutral and evil endings. Those were the only two that he's probably not present. In fact, he also really helps you out in the good ending from what we just saw. Anyways, I'll be saving here and just leaving you the question of who do you want to see next? Next time. Something? Wait for me to take it. Okay. Who do you want to see next? Yes. Well, yeah, literally Skyrim, the thing where you're fighting dragons all the time. So, I'm going to end the stream here on the note of who do you want to see next? Remy, Anna, Lorem, or a Dean? So I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys again next time.